Mantras of our Divine Mother. Our Divine Mother says all the circumstances of life are arranged to teach us that beyond mind, faith in the divine grace gives us the strength to go through all trials, to overcome all weaknesses, and find the contact with the divine consciousness, which gives us not only peace and joy, but also physical balance and good health. With my love and blessings, says our Divine Mother. Words of our Lord Sri Aurobindo, taken from the collective works of our Lord Sri Aurobindo, Autobiographical Notes, Volume 36 by our Lord, page 293, topic Letters to People in India, year 1914 to 1926. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo, in one of the letters to one of the sadhaks, has given the explanation about meditation and concentration. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, what exactly is the meaning of meditation? Our Lord says there are two words usually in English to express the Indian idea of dhyana: meditation and contemplation. Meditation means properly the concentration of the mind on a single train of ideas which work out a single subject. Contemplation means regarding mentally a single subject, image, idea, so that the knowledge about the object, image, or idea may arise naturally in the mind by force of concentration. Both these things are forms of dhyana, for the principle of dhyana is mental concentration, whether in thought, vision, or knowledge. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says there are other forms of dhyana. There is a passage in which Vivekananda advises you to stand back from your thoughts, let them occur in your mind as they will, and simply observe them and see what they are. This may be called concentration in self-observation. This form leads to another, the emptying of all thoughts out of the mind so as to leave it a sort of pure, vigilant blank on which the divine knowledge may come and imprint itself, undisturbed by the inferior thoughts of the ordinary human mind, and with the clearness of a writing in white chalk on a blackboard. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, you will find that the Gita speaks of this rejection of all mental thought as one of the methods of yoga, and even the method it seems to prefer. This may be called the dhyana of liberation, as it frees the mind from slavery to the mechanical process of thinking and allows it to think or not to think as it pleases, and when it pleases, or to choose its own thoughts, or else to go beyond thought to the pure perfection of truth, called in our philosophy Vijnana. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, Meditation is the easiest process for the human mind, but the narrowest in its results. Contemplation, more difficult but greater. Self observation and liberation from the chains of thought, the most difficult of all, but the widest and greatest in its fruits. One can choose any of them according to one's bent and capacity. The perfect method is to use them all, each in its own place and for its own object, but this would need a fixed faith and firm patience with a great energy of will in the self application to the yoga, that is integral yoga. Next question: what should be the objects or ideas for meditation? For this, our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, whatever is most consonant with your nature and higher aspirations. But if you ask me for an absolute answer, then I must say that Brahman is always the best object for meditation or contemplation, and the idea on which the mind should fix is that of God in all in God, and as all as God. It does not matter essentially whether it is impersonal or the personal God or subjectively the one self. But this is the idea I have found the best because it is the highest and embraces all other truths, whether truths of this world or the other worlds, beyond all phenomenal existence. The conditions, external and internal, that are most essential for meditation. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says there are no essential external conditions but solitude and seclusion at the time of meditation, as well as stillness of the body, are helpful, sometimes almost necessary to the beginner. But one should not be bound by external conditions. Once the habit of meditation is formed, it should be made possible to do it in all circumstances, lying, sitting, walking, alone, in company, in silence, or in the midst of noise, etc. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, the first internal condition necessary is concentration of the will against the obstacles to meditation, that is, wandering of the mind, forgetfulness, sleep, physical and nervous impatience and restlessness, etc. The second is an increasing purity and calm of the inner consciousness, chitta, out of which thought and emotion arises, that is, freedom from all disturbing reactions such as anger, grief, depression, anxiety about world happenings, etc. Mental perfection and moral are always closely allied to each other, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo. Next words of our Lord Sri Aurobindo, taken from Letters on Yoga, Book 4, Section 2, topic Overcoming the Difficulties of Yoga, subtopic Dealing with Depression and Despondency, chapter Despondency over Difficulties, page 734. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, mistakes are always possible so long as any part of the mental, even the subconscious part of it, is not thoroughly transformed. There is no need to be disturbed by that. Whatever you see, don't get disturbed or depressed. If one sees a defect, one must look at it with the utmost quietude and call down more force and light to get rid of it. When some weakness comes up, you should take it as an opportunity to know what is still to be done and call down the strength into that part. Despondency is the not right way to meet it. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, let the peace and self-giving increase till it takes hold also of the parts in which there are imperfections and gets rid of them. As for the imperfections, it is right not to be troubled by them. Only one has to be conscious of them and have the steady and quiet will that they should go. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, there was no true cause for the trouble. You have allowed it to come into you from outside. There are always forces moving about in the atmosphere, trying to disturb the sadhana and the progress. So, you must be careful not to allow them to invade you with their suggestions, whether of depression, despondency, discontent, or of anger or desire, or of any ego movement, for it is these things that they try to raise. When they come, instead of remaining in this way and trying to find an external cause for them, recognize them and reject at once. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, when a habit of these moods, depression or revolt, has been formed, they cannot be got rid of at once. There are ways of doing it. First, strengthen your own will. Strengthen your own will so that nothing can come or stay as it likes, but only as you like. Second, to think of something else, plunge the mind in some healthy activity. Third, the best, turn to the Divine Mother and call in her force. Turn to the Divine Mother and call in her force. One can do any of this or all. One can do any of these or all, but even in doing them, it will take a little time to get rid of the habit. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says there are two golden rules. Never be depressed or upset by difficulties or stumbles. Second, press always quietly forward. Then, however long it seems to take, always progress will be made, and one day you will be surprised to find yourself near the goal. It is like the curves followed by the train in the ascent of the mountain. They circle round, but always nearer and nearer to the goal. Everything is prepared above, then worked out through the inner being till the results are accomplished and perfected in the outer personality. Therefore, the sadhak ought not to allow himself to be alarmed, upset, or grieved, or made despondent by any apparent difficulties of the moments. He must know that All has been prepared above, and calmly and confidently watch and assist its working out here. And Lord Sri Aurobindo says there is no need for sadness. Everyone has his difficulties, and it is a mistake to desire the state of another. One must follow the moment of one's own heart and self and psychic without looking elsewhere. The egoism, desires, faults of the nature are in everybody very much the same. But once one begins to be conscious of them and has the will to be free, then one has only to keep that will, and there will be no real danger. For when one begins to be conscious in the way you have begun, and something from within raises up all that was hidden, it means that the Mother's grace is on your nature and her force is working, and your inner being is aiding the Mother's force to get rid of all these things. You must not be sorrowful or discouraged or fear anything, but look steadily at all that comes out and have the will that it should go completely and forever. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, with the Mother's force working and the psychic being supporting the force, all can be done and all will surely be done. This purification is made just in order that no trouble may occur in the future, such as happened to some because they are not purified, in order that the higher consciousness may come into a purified nature and the inner transformation securely take place. Go on, therefore, with all courage and faith, putting your reliance on the Divine Mother. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, these questionings and depressions are very foolish moments of the mind. If you were not open to the grace, if you were not open to the Divine's grace, you would not have had these descents or experiences, and there would have been no such progress as what you have made. You have not to put such questions, but to take it as a settled fact and with full faith in the Divine Mother and her working in you, go on with your sadhana. Whatever difficulties there may be, will be solved in time by the natural progress of the sadhana. The difficulty is natural, for they have been there for thousands of lives and the very nature of man's vital and mental ignorance. It is not surprising that they should have a power to stick and take time to disappear. But there is a true being, a true consciousness that is there in us, hidden by these surface formations of nature, and which can shake them off once it emerges. By taking the right attitude of selfless devotion within and persisting in it, in spite of the surface nature's troublesome self repetitions, one enables this inner being and consciousness to emerge, and with the Divine Mother's force working in it, deliver the being from all return of the movements of the old nature. The old exaggerated feelings of remorse and despair, it comes from the subconscious. They do not help, and it makes more difficult to be eliminated. Try to recover the inner quietude. Draw back from these moments and look at them calmly, reducing them to their true proportion. Your true nature is that in which you have peace, ananda, and the love of the divine. This only is a fringe of the outer personality of which in spite of these returns is destined to drop away as the true being extends and increases. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says to be miserable let me remind you, is a defect of your external nature. I am asking you to be frivolously happy, quiet and quietly confident, rejecting old moments, trusting not in a restless self-torturing personal effort, but to the divine force to change the external nature. It seems to me that all this comes from you having taken a wrong way with yourself in meeting the consequences of your stumble. It is not by tormenting yourself with remorse and harassing thoughts and sleepless nights that you can overcome that. It is by looking straight at yourself very quietly with a quiet and firm resolution, and then go on cheerfully and bravely in full confidence and reliance, trusting in the grace, serenely and vigilantly anchoring yourself on your psychic being, calling down more and more of the love and ananda, turning more and more exclusively to the Divine Mother. That is the true way, and there is no other. Evidently, you have had a surging of the old moments. It keeps happening until the entire old nature, both in conscious and the subconscious parts, are changed. The one thing to do is to quiet yourself, get back into the true consciousness and poise, always keep within and do things without involving yourself in them, then nothing adverse will happen. Or if it does, no serious reaction will come. Each time one stumbles, one has to get back onto the right footing, go on with fresh resolution. By doing that, the full change comes with the Divine Mother's grace, says our Lord, Sri Aurobindo. एषा सा वैष्णवी माया महाकाली दुरत्यया आराधिता वशीकुर्यात् पूजा कर्तुश्चराचर सर्वदेव शरीरेभ्यो याभिर्भूताहमितप्रभा त्रिगुणा सा महालक्ष्मीः साक्षान् महिषमर्दिनी साक्षान् महिषमर्दिनी साक्षान् महिषमर्दिनी पुष्पे एककृपते देवा ॐ श्री दुर्गायै नमः श्री मीरायै नमः ॐ श्री मीरायै नमः ॐ कमलोत्पलधारिण्या शक्त्या लिङ्गितविग्रहं स्मेराननं सुप्रसन्नं साधकाभीष्टदायकम् ॐ